everybody. This is Pastor Brady Henderson, the senior pastor of the First Baptist Church in Gaston, South Carolina, which is in the Midlands, and we are here with the 63rd episode of the Menorah Podcast, and I'm your host, as well as Alan Ott. And Alan, it is good to be here with you today, and it's good to be able to bring us in for the first time in about 2 months, as far as the intro goes.
Kind of getting you back into the swing of things.
Yeah, kind of getting me back in the water. So it's awesome to be with y'all today, and we want to talk just for a few minutes. As many of you know who are regular attendants of our church, we've recently began a new sermon series called Biblical Building, and we are going verse by verse through the Old Testament book of Ezra. And I felt like it'd be appropriate. I know we got Mother's Day weekend, and we're super excited about that. We've got Family Matters 1.0 tonight, so Alan and I have definitely been busy this week, and a lot of other volunteers and staff members, because it takes everybody to do this. So we're super excited about that, but we did kind of want to change gears. This weekend's going to be all about our young families. We've got 6 young families that are going to be dedicating their baby and or child. So that's really exciting. And then also, we're going to have a Mother's Day panel. And I'm super excited. Janice Bolt, Cheryl Reynolds, PJ Hathaway, and Savannah Peel are going to serve on that this year, and super excited about that. So it's all about the families, but we wanted to come on here and give some recommendations for commentaries on the Old Testament book of Ezra. We have already had 2 sermons in this series. We had an overview sermon, and then, of course, this past Sunday, we looked at Ezra chapter 1, verses 1 through 11, in a sermon entitled When God Moves Government. And so we did that. And I want to go ahead and give you some recommendations, because we have 19 sermons left that we're going to be going through in Ezra, and I think it'd be beneficial. Some people love to have commentaries, and I want to give you the ones that I'm using, names of them, so that if you wish to purchase them, you can do so. I purchased most of mine from christianbookstore.com. It's a website. I know a lot of people love Mardell's, and I do too. They just don't have a ton as far as scholarly commentaries are concerned. They are more devotional oriented, literature oriented, that kind of thing. And they also are a little more pricey than christianbookstore.com. christianbookstore.com does run really good sales that I highly recommend. If you can snag it, and I think it'd be beneficial to you. So let me just talk a little bit about some of these. One resource that I have in front of me, Dr. Daniel Aiken is the president at Southeastern Baptist Theological Seminary, and he has created several years ago a book called Building a Theological Library. You can actually download the digital copy of this, and this is what I have here. I've got it printed off. If you go to Southeastern Baptist, by the way, it's one of our 6 seminaries, and we give the cooperative program, so we support Southeastern. And so go to their website, and you will find on the website, you might have to do some searching, but you can type in Google, Dr. Daniel Aiken, Building a Theological Library. All you got to do is put in your email, and they will send you a free digital copy. And this thing is really awesome because, and this is revised, he first came out with it in 2019. This is the 2023 version. I'm kind of flipping through this here. So for every book of the Bible, he has recommendations for commentaries.
Okay.
And he has 3 levels that he recommends. So some are devotional, some are middle of the road, and some are like your Greek and Hebrew and like really hard to understand. So I think it's really awesome. Like, for example, I just flipped his page on Philippians. He has almost 15 commentaries he recommends. Now, I'm not asking you to go and get them all. And what he does is he puts stars by the ones he recommends you should get first to build your library. So not all 15. So I really use this a lot. I did use it for Ezra, and it's been very helpful. Also, I have a few books, maybe 1 or 2, and so I kind of get used to series of books. And so, for example, some of these are a part of series, and they might not be on his list or anybody else's list, but I have others in the series that I've used for other books of the Bible, so I just get the next one in the series, so to speak. So let me give you a few, but like I said, please, Southeastern Baptist Theological Seminary, Dr. Daniel Aiken, type it in. Building a Theological Library, you get a free download. It's 100 pages. Last year at the convention, I did actually get an actual physical copy of the book. And Dr. Daniel Aiken's not the only one to do this. Warren Wiersbe has a book on this. Pastor Steve recommended a book to me that one of his professors wrote. There's a lot of these kind of things. Dr. David Allen's got one, but I like Daniel Aiken's because it's very extensive. There's a lot of choices and options here. So let me talk about some of these. First one I'm going to recommend to you, and this is what I recommend to pretty much everybody in our church that asks me, is the Christ-Centered Exposition series. I don't want everybody to think I'm a big Daniel Aiken fanboy, but I guess I am because he's responsible for this series too. They haven't finished them all, but they are almost done with every book in this series being a book in the Bible. So I used it in Mark, but every book I've preached in here, I've used this set. It's called Christ-Centered Exposition, Exalting Jesus in Ezra and Nehemiah. And the author is James Hamilton Jr. But all you got to do is type in Christ-Centered Exposition series. Now, you can buy these books for $14.99. They have them at Mardell's. That's where I got this one, $14.99. You can buy it single, or you can pay $200 and get the set. So what happened several years ago was my mom got me the set for Christmas, and I've used it ever since. Highly recommend that one. My other favorite one, and by the way, Christ-Centered Exposition, very easy to understand. It is not a complex commentary. Very, not beginner, but very devotional in nature, very easy to understand. No issue there. A little step up from that, I have really gotten into this series in the last few years, and these books are expensive, so I'm not telling everybody to go buy them. But man, I love it. The Expositor's Bible Commentary, Revised Edition. And this one I have in front of me today is number 4 in the series, which covers 1 Chronicles through Job. This is definitely a level up as far as understanding. The main author is David Garland. He is an incredible theologian. I've had the opportunity to hear his live lecture from him before online. An incredible Bible scholar, especially with the Hebrew. Just a brilliant mind. And anyway, so he's the author of this. And like I said, not only are you getting Ezra with this, you're getting all the way from 1 Chronicles to Job. I do recommend this entire set. But like I said, it is really expensive. I think, this is about an $80 commentary. And Alan, you're looking at it right now, and it's pretty thick.
Well, if you look at that, but how many books you got there?
So you're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're getting 6. 6 commentaries in one.
So, when you go back to the one that you bought for
$14.99, yeah. And by the way, if anybody ever wants, give me a Christmas present, you can buy me books. That's my thing. So anyway, I don't have this whole set yet. I use this commentary for Samuel as well, and the way I got into this is, here's another good resource for folks. Bible Outlet in Lexington on Sunset Boulevard. Bible Store Outlet, I believe is what it's called. You and I have been there before. Yep. Anytime we pass by there, I always stop by. They have a room in the back full of discounted commentaries from different people's libraries they just put them in there. And I found one of these, and it was for Samuel, and I'd never heard of this before. And I found it, looked up the authors, it looked good, read through it. They have a little area you can read through it while you're there. I read through it, and it was on sale for $25. So I got that puppy, and it has helped me so much through Samuel. Highly recommend that. Hard to understand, but not too hard. So anyway, another one, this one is really easy to understand as well. Holman Old Testament Commentary. Now, these are old, and they're not really printed as much anymore. Holman has already created a new commentary set. This commentary set was made years ago. But this is a part of a set. This is book number 9, and it covers Ezra, Nehemiah, and Esther. The writer or the author or the editor, is Max Anders, and highly recommend this. I actually came, and like I said, I'm trying to collect this set. I only have 3 or 4 in the set. I'm trying to find them all, and they are rather expensive. But I actually got this one on ChristianBookstore.com. They were trying to get rid of it, and I got it for $2.86.
That was a pretty good deal.
Yeah, so you can find sales, and it goes for $20 regularly. Highly recommend this one. Let me say that again. Holman Old Testament Commentary. They're green looking, so if you find them. Another one that I highly recommend that is new, it is called Preaching the Word. It is a commentary set as well, and I've got 5 or 6 of these. I'm going to, like I said, I don't buy them all. If you buy them all at one time, it's like $500 or $600 from the get-go. So as I go through preaching the books, so what I'm saying is when I'm older, I'll have all these full sets. I just don't have them now, as I'm trying to build my library as I go, piece by piece. Because for this series in Ezra, I spent a little over $200 just trying to prepare for this series alone. And so anyway, preaching the word, this one, they don't have numbers of the series, but this one is called Preaching the Word in Ezra, Nehemiah, and Esther. And they call it Restoring the Church. Kent Hughes is the editor. He does a great job. But the author of this particular one is Scholar Wallace Ben, Benn. This one is very pastoral in nature. It's got a lot of illustrations. I don't really use illustrations in it very much. Try to use my own, but very easy to understand. It's kind of a storytelling commentary. It's very good, though. It's got some charts. It's got some good things in it. So definitely recommend that. This is also kind of a beginner level. Very easy to understand. And I do recommend that one. If you are a Hebrew scholar, then I do recommend this one. This is from my granddad. This one is older, and it was written a long time ago, but it's called the New International Commentary on the Old Testament Series. The New International Commentary on the Old Testament, and this one is on the books of Ezra and Nehemiah. This is heavy duty, okay? I wrote a paper in seminary had to write 50 pages arguing why Ezra and Nehemiah should be interpreted as one book and not two separate. And this was one of my go-tos because it deals with some crazy Hebrew in here. And what makes this book so awesome is it also deals with Aramaic. And if you heard our sermon last Sunday, the overview, parts of Ezra were written in Aramaic, which is crazy to me because most of it's in Hebrew, and then all of a sudden for 2 chapters we wander around in Aramaic, and it's wild. It's crazy. So anyway, it does talk a little bit about that. So this one is very expensive as well. It's probably a $50 commentary. I don't know because it was Nani's, but he gave it to me. So highly recommend that one as well. I'm going kind of fast. You got anything you want to add as I go through it?
I'm just along for the ride
I
today.
hear you. Next one I'm going to recommend to you, and this is not my favorite. I'm going to go ahead, and I'm not afraid to tell you my favorites and not my favorites and all that. Now, well, I need to be careful because for last Sunday, I don't need to be mean to this one because this one did help me out for Ezra chapter 1. There were some nuggets in here that I did not know that I gleaned from the text. And let me say this too. When I study for a sermon, probably only 10% of what I study actually comes out in the sermon. It doesn't all. Everything that went into my mind during the week in preparing for that message doesn't all get to come out. And that's okay. But the thing is, the Lord might use it a different time. For example, I've studied Jeremiah 29 before. But that study that I did years ago in Jeremiah 29 came to help me Sunday with the parallel of Jeremiah 29 and Ezra chapter 1. Verse 1 with the prophecy that we talked about. And so this one is called the Tyndale Cornerstone Biblical Commentary Series. Philip Comfort is the general editor. Gary Smith is a great theologian. I've actually met Gary before. He wrote this book. It's Ezra, Nehemiah, Esther. It is volume 5B. Volume 5B, Tyndale Cornerstone Biblical Commentary. I do have other ones on this. This one's not too expensive. I think this one's like $15, something like that. But it has helped me. Maybe this one on Ezra looks a lot better than some of the other volumes in the set. But I would recommend this one. It's pretty good. It deals with some language, so it is a little bit more on the deeper side. I do recommend that. I'm probably not going to use this one very much during preaching through Ezra. It's just not my favorite. It's the Interpretation Series. It's a biblical commentary for teaching and preaching on Ezra and Nehemiah. If you're a Sunday school teacher, I definitely recommend that you get this series. It's just very expensive because there weren't many made, and so they're rare. You know, that's the other thing about books is that they're like baseball cards or anything else. Some of them are rare. Some of them weren't made a lot. So that kind of jacks the price up. To buy the whole set costs $1,000. I'm not asking anybody to do that just for Sunday school, but they are helpful. I'm probably not going to use it for this series, but I haven't decided yet because I've already got 7. And then here's another one, just kind of this one's not my favorite either. and I'll tell you why it's not my favorite. This one's called The Preacher's Commentary. Mark Roberts is the author of this. This is volume 11, Ezra, Nehemiah, and Esther. Again, that's The Preacher's Commentary, volume 11, Ezra, Nehemiah, Esther. The reason, and this one you can tell I bought it, this one I bought at a bookstore at the beach, and it was on sale. That's why I got it. It's $13. I'm probably not going to use it, and let me tell you why. It's so pastoral in nature that if you look at it, he's already got an outline. And it's pretty much already a sermon. And it's just written in a book. And the reason I don't use that is because I want God to write the sermon based on what I've studied in the language and based on what I've read from what other people have written about the language. I don't want to copy or be tempted to just read that and say, oh, I'm just going to preach his sermon. Because his sermon might not be what God's telling me to do. Now, it's helpful after my sermon's written. He might have some things I might want to include that I didn't think about, but I usually kind of stay away from that because that's the thing. One of the things it says, and Alan, you can testify, it says right here, it says rich outlines and illustrations. Okay, well, my opinion, my job as a expositor, I'm not a scholar, but my job as a Bible student is to write my own outlines and my own illustrations.
Well, you know those better. Gives us as listeners more of what God's laid on your heart, which is the purpose that we called you for.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And, we believe that was your vision and, that God laid his vision on your heart and that you're to share that with us. And so that's kind of purpose things. And so I can understand that.
Yeah.
And by using your own illustrations, well, that just makes it more personable.
For sure. For sure. So anyway, those are some recommendations. You can always come by my office and talk books. I have no problem doing that. Many of you, especially Sunday school teachers, will come by and say, you got this that could help me or that could help me. Please come by my library. I would love to talk with you about that. If you're looking for cost-effective ways, I can help you to do that too. I have a library at home as well, so that's an option as well. If I don't have it here, it's probably there. So anyway, so that's a little bit on that. Highly recommend you purchase some of these. I wouldn't purchase all the ones I recommended, maybe one or two. And if you want to know which ones I would recommend you to purchase, I would probably say Christ-Centered Exposition Series, that one. And I would definitely recommend go ahead and spend the money and buy the Expositor's Bible Commentary. That one's just really helpful. So anyway, that's all I got. You got anything to add?
Well, that was a lot for us.
Okay. All right. Thank you guys for listening to the Menorah Podcast, the podcast that seeks to share light, send light, and speak the light of Jesus Christ all across the airwaves of the internet. This has been episode 63. We will see you tonight for Family Matters 1.0 if you're attending that. We will see you Sunday for Mother's Day weekend. It is going to be an awesome weekend. And don't forget, our biblical building sermon series, we're going to pick that back up on May 18th, which is graduation Sunday. And then also keep in your mind, May 25th, immediately following the worship service, we are going to be unveiling our brand new historical marker. So we'll be doing that Memorial Day weekend. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. We love you. Hope you have a great day, and I will see you either tonight or Sunday. And God bless.